Hello everybody, it's Gareth Jones here from Paris Technologies, and today we're going to talk about fixed assets, depreciation and fixed asset register FAR. Fixed assets, something that's easy to calculate individually for maybe 1 year, but starts to get tricky when we've got lots of assets and we're trying to look at over multiple years. So traditionally it's a weak part of our budget. Now today I'm going to show you a simple model that you can take off the shelf that's going to solve this problem for you. Let's jump right in. This here is just a list of assets with some important data about depreciation. So as you can see, it's got an asset number, a free form, it's got the description, it's got a department, and it's got an asset type. And I can put in any information here, and this model will create a reporting filters that correspond to this. So you just follow your general ledger, and you can have that reporting functionality, and I'm going to show you how. This version is important. Anything that's existing we're going to call actual, and anything that we may want to check and add to a budget or add to a plan, we will just call it plan, and then I'll show you how to add it later. As an accountant, you'll recognize these: your cost, your depreciation rate, if there's any residual value planned, and then when are we starting the depreciation from, and is there a disposal, what's the date, and what's the disposal proceeds. This list is by legal entity, so if I change the legal entity, I get a different list, and I can add to any list by just typing or copying and pasting data in. Potentially I've got loads more data that I may want to capture, and that's all waiting for you to be captured in your database. I'm just going to focus. So here, for example, purchase date, the supplier, serial number, any kind of notes, all of that will be stored in the database for you. I'm just going to focus on the accounting side. All right. By just putting this little bits of information in, I'm going to kick off a calculation. How can you believe me? Let's have a look at what the calculation looks like if I do it one asset at a time. So if I come up to the asset filter here and I double left click, I get all my assets that are here. You can see I've got US, UK assets, and I've got these SA assets. Let's pick the first one, the laptops. I'm just going to make this a little bigger for you, the screen. All right, we've got some information about it. What's the entity, what version, department, etc. The cost, the depreciation rate. If it's a 33 depreciation rate, then it's going to be over 36 months. Based on the date, this is going to be the first month, and then it's going to run until this gets to 36. We've got this nice open to closed. There's the addition. Then here's the closing balance, opening balance, and it runs through. And the accumulated depreciation, you get your first month's depreciation, and then it starts to accumulate. And then finally at the bottom here, I've got the financial year to date, and I'm calculating them all up front. I'm not trying to sum up these months. I'm actually calculating it there, and that's so that I can just pick any month and report. And the reason for the year to dates, of course, is that's how your general ledger is going to be. So you want to be able to compare these numbers to your general ledger. Let's just do the calculation quickly so we feel comfortable that this is correct. Equals cost divided by 36 months, and I've got that 277 or 278, which is exactly right. Perfect. If it works for one asset, it's going to work for all of them. Let's pick one that is a little unusual. I think it was this one where I had a disposal. There's the addition in 2023. There's the depreciation rolling as we'd expect. Let's move this on to 2024. And here's our disposal, and it's picked up the disposal date of 24 March. It says that's the date. There's the proceeds. So we're going to close out the costs. We're going to close out accumulated depreciation. It gives us my net book value on disposal of 40,000 and profit on disposal 5,000. All exactly like you'd expect it to calculate. Now what's happening is every single asset that I put in that list is being calculated instantly and simultaneously, giving me a lot of power. All I need to do now is report on it. So, first thing is potentially you may want to have a quick list. So let's have a look at a nice long calculation by asset. So here's actual for the total group at 24 December, and it gives me this nice long list, and I can go down any asset and see at the end of December what will be the cost situation, what will be the depreciation situation and the disposals, and I can start to limit that down and just see a smaller and smaller grouping. So I've got all of these filters that were built in automatically as we put the data in. So I can pick computers, and I can filter all of this data down to whatever I need. If I want to change entity, very simple. I just manipulate these filters and I just get that list of assets that are in there. Very nice, very useful, very powerful. All right. Nice to be able to calculate this stuff like this, but I want to give you that added functionality, which is the budgeting side. So if you have a look here, we have some assets here that are not already purchased. They're just planned, and I'm going to put them in, and I can have as many as I want in this list, and I can use them or not use them. So I put them in, I put the data down there, and then I can come to the selection section here. And right now it's simple. I've just got budget and forecast. But actually, as we know as accountants, this could be quite long. This could be budget version 1, budget version 2, budget version 3. And I may want to see what the effect of buying these assets is on my budget. So the model here is going to give us the data that I need to add to the rest of my budget. So if we look here, I want to just pick it from this little Excel workbook for my budget input. So here I got by month, I'm looking at South Africa, total assets for budget. So let's quickly look at actual. So this is what we actually have. Of course, any assets I have actually got physically, I need to include the depreciation in my budget. So if we look out for 2024, there it all is. Let's have a look at these planned assets. They are calculated but not necessarily used yet. So there I've got two assets that I've planned, a purchase of some servers and a construction of a server room, planned out, not necessarily used. If I want to add them to my budget, I'm just going to turn this to budget so we can physically see it move. All I need to do, and you can see we don't have those additions there, all I need to do is come to this little selection, say which ones should I include in the budget. I'm saying I'm going to use these two, and you can see there's others that I don't have to use them. So you can see in other sections here that in the UK and that potentially I can say, well, I don't want to use these ones, or another version I don't want to use it. For this one, as soon as I add that, where's my budget input, and I update this, I get those additions come in, so I can put that in my cash flow, and I've got this new depreciation numbers which I can put in my budget, and we can show that version to management, and they can make a good decision. Very simple model, very nice and easy to use, but very powerful. Thank you.